Welcome back. One half of the Double Dragons, Ray Vendetta here, Ray of Light. We're going into the next segment of the show here. I've got a very, very special guest. He's hailing from the northwest corners of LDN. Good musical friend of mine, super talented artist. Let me just list out the resume right here. We got Yasuki, Tiger Style, Cinematic Ballads, The Pinnacle, and of course, Niggas Network. We'll get to that. Ladies and gentlemen, in the house tonight, we got Herbal T.
Wagwan, peeps, wagwan.
How you doing, my brother?
Peace, man. I'm good, man.
Somebody I've wanted to get on this show for a long time.
Nah, man, respect. Respect. It's an honor to be here.
It's nice to have you up here finally.
Nah, man, peace, my
bro. Up here on a cold evening, on a cold Monday evening.
Yeah, man, but
headquarters.
It's got to do with hip hop, so it don't matter, man. Rain.
Swords for the cause and the love, man. You know how it stays, man.
Come on, my bro.
All right, let's get into it. Give the listener that's never heard about who Herbal T is just a history.
Okay.
Heritage, background, upbringing, just a skim over.
Yeah, so just quickly.
Early days, early dawns, before music, man.
Before music?
Yeah,
okay.
Music.
All right. So grew up northwest London.
Come on.
Born into like, I'm Jamaican, Trinidad heritage. My pops was like musician,
wicked.
Playing guitarist, playing with Jimmy Cliff and them thing there. I mean, like, to be fair,
legendary.
If my dad, that's how my dad come to the country to do music.
All right.
And then he met my mum. So if that cause wasn't even there, I wouldn't be here. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Grew up around music, Northwest London, Rasta, influence, do you know? And from young, I just knew, you get me, I was going to be in music. I used to rap over my pops' dub records, the reggae dub records.
That was me. That's
my early flirtings with music. You get me?
But you kind of knew from them times that something is gonna
that's what it's gonna be.
So when was the transition of like, I'm doing this because I love the music and I've grown around it too. Let me do a thing. Yeah.
So I think like 13, Do you get me? I mean, I was rapping and all that before playing about, but 13 was the transition. Do you get me? It was like, obviously, man hit road them time.
Age,
you understand? 12, 13, hitting roads.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's like, and then man's listening to certain New York rap as well, and West Coast. Do you know what I'm saying? So man's relating that to certain things man's doing and that as well on road. And yeah, it's just the culture.
How did you take to that, being like, a kid of British Caribbean descent and being over here, hearing it in that way, being 13, 14. I know how I kind of took to it, but how did you initially take to it?
Like, do you know what? It was like I just felt to myself like when I heard rap, because obviously reggae was always playing in my house. Yeah. Reggae and everything there was always playing.
Similarities.
And the funny thing is, I'll give you a joke. My dad went to New York and he come back and he brought me back some tapes. And it come like my dad just was buying things on a hurry and didn't realize what he was buying, because he brought me MC8 Drive-By.
Wow.
Drive-By.
Well, he's a West Coast classic, just like out of nothing.
He brought me Tony Touch 50 MCs. Them time I don't even know nothing about rapping, Zach. You get me?
That's a classic tape.
Yeah. NWA. You get me? So I've put that in, and the thing is, the day he come back, one of them was on CD, and I put the MC8 thing in, and the first thing was like, what, can I swear, yeah? Yep. Yeah, so the first thing was like, yeah, motherfucker. Get me? And my dad was like, take that off. Nah, I'm buying the wrong thing. Yeah, MC8. And then he tried to hide the tapes, but I went and found them tapes, bruv, and I was listening to them tapes from like 10, 11 in my Walkman.
That was
and
then that's what, like the early homework.
Yeah, that's what pushed me into rap. And then I was rapping, making my own raps, but I was rapping like MC8, like that slow, Compton type rap.
Listening to you're taking the influence of it.
Yeah, then I met one older Donny when I was 13. He was from Hackney, and then he showed me about Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? And that had all the kung fu, and obviously I was doing kung fu. My dad was doing kung fu, so that drew me to Wu-Tang.
I could imagine that changed everything.
And that just changed the whole concept. You get me? Then started writing differently and jumping into it. And yeah, from 13 I've been rapping.
All right, so like that's perfect to go into my next question. To segue into the next question, you just said Wu-Tang. Mm-hmm. Who are your influences in music and outside of music? But you did cite Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang being a heavy influence on mine and a lot of MCs around me because
Yeah.
we came at that point where, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So Wu-Tang, I mean, outside of music, I would say like it's my peers, my older peers that was just on the roads. You get me? And some of them weren't even like doing music. It was just a concept of how they had me and just be like, yo, you have to be like a man and them things there. You know what I'm saying? So and move older than how I am and had set rules and them things there like. So those mans like influenced
Like
me as well.
show man the ropes and so
Yeah,
man.
do you get me? And then obviously my pops, big influencer, you get me?
Come on now.
So like those are the ones outside music, you get me? Cause even with that, like the whole kung fu, rap, the kung fu and the discipline thing outside the music that my pops brought to me, like all of that just vibes me up, you get me? So
all
big
elements.
influences.
That's a dope answer still, but musically, expand from Who else?
From Wu.
Cause I know you're well-versed hip-hop,
Yeah,
man, so
yeah.
it's just like,
All right, so obviously, Mob Deep came in. So this is like the
on now.
early days,
The Mob,
innit? So
rest in
like I
peace,
said, I had
Prodigy.
that tape, bruv, Tony Touch. So you could imagine
to-
all them
everybody
MCs that was
on
on
it,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody else,
so,
somebody was
so
on
I
that
didn't
tape,
really
innit?
know certain names, but the voices I could like relate to and be like, yo, I like that. I like what he's coming with. So Nas was one of them, and then Tragedy Gaddafi. That's one of my main hits from. Because at first I was thinking, right, is that Nas or you get, because they had a similar flow. But then when I realized from TONY dropped, yo, this is the
He's
next
an
cat.
to Nas, so
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah, bro. So yeah, Tragedy Gaddafi. Who else I could say? This is from early. So after that, the Locks. Yeah, my 13th birthday, LOX album brought that. That was
Which
a pin.
one?
Money, Power,
Power,
Respect.
Respect.
Yeah, but my 13th
Okay.
birthday, blood.
Alright.
GTA
Yeah,
1
for
on the Mega Drive, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, blood. Them two elements there, bro.
All right,
Yeah.
that's wicked. That's
Yeah.
wicked. So moving into the next one, tell me about your creative process, because I know you're a prolific artist. At the beginning of the interview, I cited some of his projects, and that wasn't even a handful of people. There's a lot more. You need to check it, but we'll get to that. But tell me about your creative process.
Okay, so I don't know. It's just like I might see like something like or something like a movie. You get me, like a movie, and I'm like, yo, I like that. I'm gonna do a concept of that. Do you get me? Or I might even just have the artwork in my head first, and then I think of the music that's gonna come with it. But I think nowadays, not even nowadays, how I used to rap as well. See, like when producers give me a track, it will have a name on it. So I would take that name, then add things to it. Do you get me? And write towards it like that. I've had times where, that's how I used to rap first. I mean, back in the day, I used to write the track list first.
Oh, and then just go through.
And then go through and write the bars.
That's crazy.
To
that's
the tracks. Do you know what I'm saying? To the track names and that. So, and funny enough, I was kind of used that technique with the Negus Network. You understand?
The project. Yeah, man. But because I noticed that your creative process is a quick one. People, in case you didn't know, me and Herbal T got a project out there called Negus Network. It's on those streaming platforms. Yeah, when we made that, and you were sending me tracks, and the speed you were sending them at, and the concepts and what you'd put in the tracks, it was just it made me know you're a prolific creator, because you know, without shots it's not shots, but it's shots, but it's shots. I've sent a lot of music to a lot of people, man, that sat in it for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
It might turn to like, I don't even know. You might have to dig that up, dig it up out of concrete after a while. But yeah, you were just throwing them back, and it wasn't just like throwaway, like you just put a freestyle on it or something. It was just like tracks, man.
Yeah, nice energy. It was just energy in it. So obviously, I could see you've put energy and time into the beats. You sent it to me. We spoke anyway before this. You even sent the beat, so we spoke on what we're gonna do. So when you send me the beats, now I'm like, yo, this is manifestation. I can't slow this manifestation down. So man just jumped on it straight away, like bam, and just wrote different elements. Cause one of the tracks, I think I went Nottingham for the weekend. Just had a hotel. Not even on the hype since went to see fam, and then in the night time I went back to write the bars. I wrote Supreme Tact and the next bar like that. You get me? Just in a different vibe. So even just changing up the scenery to write, to create. So that's all a part of the creative.
Yeah, writers will know that scenery and where you're writing and putting shit down, it has a big impact on
it
what you
impacts
put down
big time.
sometimes. Yeah.
All right, check it.
Yeah.
If you see like the difference between how West Coast music sound and East Coast music sound. West Coast, the beats sound all sunny, innit? Glitzy
palm
and
trees
palm
against,
tree.
against
You
concrete
understand?
jungle.
Because
You
you can hear it.
can hear
Yeah,
it,
but and then obviously New York's grey. Certain of the rhythm sound dusty and grey.
boom bap,
You
man.
understand? So it's music does reflect off man's environment and
100%.
energy.
Just say something as well. I feel like that's why in like UK hip hop, the influences more come from the East Coast
The
side
New York,
because it's
yeah,
fucking
it's similar.
rainy
Yeah,
and
it's
grey
rainy,
out here,
grey
like,
pavements,
we
grey
ain't got
skies.
no palm trees, so you know, like
Real
we
talk.
got that dusty boom bap sound.
see
You
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very
Real
similar.
what Biz just said there, man.
100%.
Definitely, cause we got that grey big tower block kind of just metropolis kind of feeling. We couldn't make palm tree music.
Yeah.
we don't have that shit. Yeah, that was a wicked one. Wait, let me slide over on the phone, locking out on me. Yeah, music wise, tell us about projects. Your first project. Up until now.
My
your
first
growth.
very project. My first project. Okay, so I was rapping like my first serious project. I used to do all these little tapes from school days, but my first
demos,
serious
man, the
project,
demos.
I was with a crew called Uncivilized Ones, like in Northwest London. It was a collective of like 11, 12 of us. Do you get me? There was like two rappers called Joe Spesh and Majorous Nine. They were like the elders, and it was like they had their things, they had their tours and that, and then we was like an under subgroup in the
so
thing.
you just like
Yeah.
the man them, the ones that had the skills,
Had the
obviously,
skills, you
to
get
come
me?
through under.
And then I think our first project came from that. So we was in a subgroup called Archimage Kings, which is like a word we used to use in Northwest as to mean
What time frame we looking at here?
2002, 2001, 2002. You get me?
Right.
So yeah, we had like a little thing. There was a CD. It was called the AKs, and it was called Hold This. Two big AKs on the front, but the group was like
So
a
proper
collective.
goon thing,
yeah.
So proper
So
goon
spraying
thing with the
up the tracks.
the
Yeah.
straps on the cover.
You know what I'm saying? And
Alright.
it's like we went round sending like basically putting that out. Then we had another one called Kings of the Round Table in the Mesa Redonda We Trust. And that was me and my brethren Eldon. We're the group it's like a Mob Deep group where we're called Kings of the Round Table. KRT, yeah. And we had some CDs, and we went hard on that because we pressed out about 1,000 with our own money. Hit West End, did the sale and return street on Wardour Street,
man done the hard
all of
hustle,
that.
man,
You get me?
straight.
Man, that was out there with Mike JLC. Big up
Hustling
Mike as well, because even like
man.
man
Big
walked
up
out
Mike.
there the first day, and it was like we saw Mike. I think 2 weeks before we actually went out there.
Mike's legendary for
Legendary.
moving the
You
product like
understand?
that, man. Moving
Legendary. And you see
Yeah,
man say,
the
yo,
music.
come up Oxford Street, we got the thing pattern rare. But us man in Northwest, we like certain time we like on that bougie thing, like
politics involved
yeah.
sometimes,
So it's like,
yeah,
you know
man.
what, cool, we'll fall
Understand.
back. But it's like we went to Oxford Street, and as we got there, we come out, and me and Don, you know, I was busy, bro.
Yeah, man.
We're saying which way should we go? So we was like, come, just take the right. And we're walking right. We walked about probably about 2 minutes, brother. And we see Mike walking down with eating some custard thing. Like he said, yo, what you man out here to shot CDs? Come, follow me. And then we went back down with Mike outside. What was it, Foot Locker? And then he was shotting 2 of our CDs with 2 of his, and then we would take 2 of his and shot it with ours, bruv. And like the first sale I shot it to, bruv, there was a tick girl, bruv. You get me? Spoosed. She didn't even look like she listened to hip hop. And man, bust her, and I was like, you know what? For once I can do that.
Give
Get
you the
anyone,
confidence.
yeah,
It gave
anyone
man the
can get,
confidence
yeah.
to just- and you know what? That's a wicked bit of
Anyone
history
can get
there,
it.
man. And something you
Yeah.
said to me earlier, off radio when we were downstairs in regards to like a certain Rome Streets. Tell us your history with Rome Streets.
Oh yeah. So Rome Streets, man, like from like 2001 times, these same times, 2002. Like my man, he came over from America, Northwest London and that, and he ended up basically in the same U1 camp that I was talking about, Uncivilized Ones. His name was Tragic at the time, innit? Boom. But obviously, like, yeah, he was around, man, doing his thing.
Bit younger.
Like, bit younger. He was younger than, man, like I said, one of my G's brought him in as, like, the younger from the estate, but he raps from New York. And he was sick, way ahead of his time. But I think UK weren't ready for that at that time. Because even he battled, like, because we used to go turnmills. as these beat. It was like a MC battle. For me, it was like 8 Mile, innit? So we got up Oxford Street, Terminals, and he entered in it, and my other brethren, Major, entered it on the beat side. And Traj got all the way to the final and battled Professor Green. You know what I'm saying? So even that, but yeah, long story short, he got deported back in it to America, and then like last thing I heard, man was in fucking Rikers, and that was it. And then years later, bam, I see man appear again. What, Rome Streets? So yeah,
that is mad, yeah, because Rome Streets was on my top 5 Spotify artists last year. Like, I'm a big follower of Rome Streets, yeah, and I see in an interview that he lived in London from like, what was it, 14 to 17, and I'm going, bruv, I wonder where he was. Like, that is fucking mind-blowing. You don't know how mind-blowing that is for me, because like, I'm like, yo, that's
Rayners Lane, the state, them times, couple man, them youngers I knew from around them, he was moving with, I don't know if he was residing there, but he was moving with certain heads, serious youngers from that estate, and they bring him to the studio. And then he was just around us from there, you get me? Dope, but one thing is work rate was serious. Do you know what I'm saying?
You can see that now in his output.
Serious,
now that he's been out there in the spotlight, he puts out work. Even before he had the notoriety from Griselda, I noticed he was an artist that you couldn't turn around and not see something coming out from him. And I like that. And it wasn't throwaway materials, good material as well. So I rate that too about him. So
yeah, man.
And it's just he's still always kept his heart open to the UK scene as well. Because the first time I heard of him was on Fiber's album. There you go. Fiber had a feature from Rome Streets. I was like, who is this, bro? That guy's ill. And we got to give props to Rome Streets, because if anyone in the hip hop scene deserved that Griselda sign off, bro, that motherfucker did.
And man's worked hard in this thing, bro. Trust me, like I said, from
salute the hard
Dave,
workers
so
and
salute
the ones that put the work in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
And it's good to see certain man that was around, man, at the time do it. You understand? Successfully do their thing now, bruv. So yeah, bruv. So
that's dope, man. But coming off that, man, because we're just talking about time and distances. Yo, man, I know you've been in a long time now. Saying what you just told us, it's like the duration is there and it's solid mileage. What do you feel within the scene, or I don't really like to call it scene, within the field of what we do, man? It's gonna be your long-lasting imprint on the thing. What do you feel you put to the table, that you put into the culture?
Well, I just for that question, it's kind of, I'm gonna try to answer it, but it's like,
I know it's a big one, but just on
this one here, it's like I ain't finished yet. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't think I could. Only when I pass, you get me? I could say yeah, but I just, for now, I'm just gonna try and drop as much as I can on the industry and leave like a big catalog, like to just for like music so that I live on as well, and there's a message that man's teaching, man. And
as a man with a large catalog, gets myself, that's real talk, man.
Yeah, come on, man, respect.
Like putting the things down, but speaking of catalogs and putting music down. Tell our listeners what's the most recent project they can look for and what you got in the horizon without giving too much away. Because you might be a secretive man with how you do your things in it. So, yeah, as much as you want to reveal in it.
Right. Well, there's a lot going on still. But yes, the most recent projects I would say is like the Negus Network, me and Ray Vendetta, Prestige Records. You get me?
You should have heard that already, people.
Fine art right there. You get me? And then the one I dropped after that, which is Kumi.
That's dope.
Which is basically inspired by Mortimer Planner, which is like one of the High Priest Rasta, man. That was one of Bob Marley's successors.
Okay. And
that, so yeah, I based it off of that. And it also means furious and courageous in Ghana. So yeah, that one there. And Cinematic Ballads, which I'll give you 2 tracks to play off as well. So those are like the main thing. And then coming forward in, got Negus Network 2.
Come on now.
In the pipeline, you know what I'm saying? And that's sounding fire right now.
We're just building on the motion, man. We made the traction now.
Yeah,
we're just
keep
that traction.
Keep moving. So it's like volume 2.
That's it.
And I've got something else that's going to be dropping on the 2nd of November called Black Gold Velvet EP. Okay. So that's like, that's the next drop that I know I got the
That's
official
work,
date
man.
for.
That sounds
you know?
like work, and a
Yeah,
bit more
the
work.
work
and a
don't
bit
stop,
more work.
kid. You get
Come
me?
on now, and tell the people then where they can find you right across the network.
So yeah, Instagram Herbal T the God, like Herbal / T _ T the God. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, all them. Just Google me innit. Herbal T the God.
Herbal T the God.
You get me?
And you're gonna find them across all the DSPs and you know the band camps and whatever else. You know, if you're music people, you dig for music the right way, you're gonna find it. We got 2 tracks from
cinematic ballads.
from the
Yeah,
new
so
album.
one was called The Brother,
and
now next one's called Desert Storms.
people them brother. Herbal T.
Desert Storms.
J on the beat. Yo, it's Herbal T the God. Played the staircases, played the hallways. We did the road thing, but we elevated into successful businessmen. Yo.